Welcome to Dropping In, a podcast of storytelling and interviews with your host, Winter Olympian Mercedes Nicoll.
Thank you so much for dropping in today. I'm your host, Mercedes Nicoll, and throughout dropping in, I'm pretty unapologetically myself. I'm pretty authentic, and I thought it seemed like a good fit to team up with the company called Sway, a brand built on purpose, committed to supporting communities and charities across Canada. I've chosen a cause that is dear to me, Can Fund, who directly supports Team Canada athletes, which seemed like a good fit as this whole series is about Team Canada athletes. And Sway will be making a donation on my behalf to Can Fund. Sway is made with real juice and real good vibes. It's a delicious tasting vodka soda with nothing to hide. Series 4 is a special series of Dropping In where I have a co-host. Miss Martha McCabe will be joining me throughout this series as we interview and rapid fire, which is never rapid fire, Canadian athletes that could potentially be going to the Tokyo Olympics. So stay tuned for these 10 episodes of Dropping In with my co-host, Miss Martha McCabe. Let me introduce the sport and guest that we will be dropping in with today. This sport honestly looks exhausting and like you have to hold your breath forever. You need grace, strength, aerobic endurance, flexibility, swimming skills, and good timing. Honestly, you lost me at grace. It's a mix of swimming, dancing, and gymnastics, formerly known as synchronized swimming. In 2017 was renamed artistic swimming. Their routines are scored on a scale of 100, and judges look for execution, artistic impression, and difficulty. Now, here's the red flag. If a swimmer uses the bottom, they will be womp, 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 disqualified. Swimmers have costumes, makeup, and music in their routines, but those are actually not judged. Most commonly known as a female sport, there is a push to have men compete at the Olympics. And now at the Olympics, there are two categories of artistic swimming, pairs and team. Our guest started artistic swimming at the age of 8, while it was formerly known as synchronized swimming. Her career in sport took off in 2011. At the age of 13, she took home 2 gold medals and a silver medal at the UANA Pan American Championships. She was also the 2011 Canada Games closing ceremony's flag bearer, which is a huge honor. The following year, at age 14, she joined the national team, winning bronze medal after bronze medal at the Common Cup and the World Junior Championships. A couple years later, in 2014, she earned a silver medal at the World Junior Championships. Just bumped it up by 1. The gold medals came back in 2015, and she was on top of the podium twice at the Pan American Games, paving her way to her first Olympics at the age of 19. In Rio, she placed 7th. She's an ambassador for Athletes Can, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the Foundations of Stars, and Fast and Female. She's a college graduate in health science and hopes to attend medical school. This daughter, friend, Olympian, mega ambassador, powerhouse, blonde bombshell is paving her way to her second Olympics to represent Team Canada. Let's see how Jacqueline Simoneau is doing. Jackie, are you ready to drop in?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay, so we have rapid fire that are never rapid by any means, and it's all for the listeners. Number 1, how long can you hold your breath?
5 minutes, 11 seconds.
Oh
She
man,
knows.
that's good. I was not expecting that answer. Wow. Okay, let's go with it. We're going rapid fire. Number 2.
Okay.
When
God,
you're
that's
not
so
in the
cool.
pool, what can people find you doing? And maybe in non-COVID times, because I think we've learned that in COVID times, people are at home doing not much.
That's a good specification. Probably reading or studying is what I would be doing.
Yeah, That makes it. I can't get over that you can hold your breath for over
I know
7
that
minutes.
is pretty wild. That's actually really long.
Is this while you're doing things? Like while you're sculling
No,
and
5 minutes, 11 seconds is just really not moving. It's static, just floating face down in the water. It's about 3 minutes, 40 seconds while supporting myself using my arms and whatnot. So there's a significant difference between the two.
Yeah.
Martha,
Yeah.
what was yours?
Oh, that's what I was saying is we didn't never do it for time. Like I have no idea what our time was, but we had to be moving. Like for us, it was like, can you do 50 meters or can you do 100 meters or whatever, right?
I try and hold my breath in my parents' pool in Mexico, and it's very short, and I don't make it very far. So
The good
congrats,
thing
guys.
is that you could train about that. You could train it.
I can train it. Do I
Yeah.
want to?
Too late. No.
I don't
would
know.
suggest-
Yeah, underwater work is it's so scary. I'm not a fan. It's you like literally kind of feel like you're about to die. Like now I need air.
Yeah. Like I need air. Oh man. Number 3, speaking about underwater, who the heck is filming you? What camera is used for like under and above? Is it like 2 different cameras? What is happening behind the scenes?
That's an awesome question. There's so many different cameras. There's one above that we kind of call like the bird's camera because it's on this cord and it follows you throughout the pool in a competition pool. And there's a bunch on the side of the pool and even some underwater. So there's multiple cameras.
And who's in charge of them? Are they just like GoPros?
I don't think they're GoPros, but there's a whole team that is designated to filming.
And like a lot of them are just robots. Like someone's controlling them, right? And they're moving them around. It's pretty wacky, but it's cool.
But when you're just training, is it your coach doing it?
Yeah, so when it's on training, it's our coach doing it, or if not, we have a biomechanics person or a specialist there who's actually filming underwater and above too.
I don't know that anyone ever asked these questions, so I'm glad that I did.
Okay, number 4. All right, what's your favorite app that you have on your phone? I'm just going out to left field here.
Oh, probably Instagram because I'm on it. Probably most Instagram or Twitter where I get my news. Two favorites.
Instagram. Are you a stories? Do you watch stories a lot?
I do. Yeah.
You get sucked down the rabbit hole too. Perfect. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5. I stated in the intro that makeup is not judged as part of the competition, but you wear makeup in the water, and there are rules that you have to keep it natural. And most people would think the opposite about wearing makeup in the water. So what kind of makeup are you using, and how the heck do you get it off your face?
That's an awesome question too. Back in the day when they didn't have this regulation, we would use Makeup Forever, and they had this special line that goes out for body painting, and it's like paint on your eyes and on your face, and it's hard to get off, but they have a special makeup remover. But now that rule is in place, I just use regular makeup, your everyday mascara that's waterproof, of course. And you just have to put a lot on for it to stay.
Okay, but when did the rule come into place that it had to be like more mellow? Because you guys would have like glitter and like things going on.
I'm not quite sure. I think it's possible that the rule was always there, but they actually started to enforce it a few years ago.
Okay.
So the ref essentially, before you go and compete, make sure that your suit doesn't really expose anything. You have to have your belly button covered and whatnot. And then they check your makeup too. And usually the rule of thumb is that it shouldn't pass your eyebrow. So if it passes your eyebrow line, then you've gone too far.
I feel like that should be for everyone. Sorry, Martha. What?
I said no tankinis. You got to cover your belly button. That's a bummer.
Martha, okay, I don't know. Oh, I guess you're wearing goggles, Martha, while you're swimming. You wouldn't wear makeup, would you?
No, but a lot of girls do, I think. Yeah, and same. I think it's just waterproof. Like, I don't think it's anything fancy. But I have just a quick follow-up. What about your hair? Because like back in the day, I actually did synchronized swimming briefly before I did competitive swimming, and we put gelatin in our hair. Like, what do you guys put? I know.
Can you just go back that you did synchronized swimming?
Let me just skip past that. It was good. I was not the best, but hey. But tell me about the hair product.
I mean, you
Just
probably
deking
know
that
all
question.
about it. It's gelatin.
Do
Like
still? Oh,
Jello.
wow.
It's
I
still.
didn't know that. Okay.
I'm a big rooter for just competing in your bathing cap and goggles because that's how we train, and it's not even judged. But I do it because it's a formality and it's part of the sport, and it's still putting Jello in your hair.
Yeah. Okay. I thought they would have something else for you guys by now. I don't know.
Nope.
What do you
Wow.
mean Jello? Like the powder?
Yeah. So you have this powdered gelatin, and you add boiling water, how it makes the best gelatin. You stir it, you put it in your hair, and then it sets and it really hardens.
Yeah.
so
So
it's
then
better than-
after, when you like move your head, it like rips all your hair out, and it's so uncomfortable.
Not as bad as that lady that did the gorilla glue on her head.
That might stay better.
Like, yeah, that lasts forever. Then she had to get it surgically removed.
'Kay.
Okay, I'm learning a lot. Those are good questions.
'Kay,
Jello
number
in your hair.
I'm on number 6 here. I've actually over the pandemic been reading a ton. What's the last book you read?
Oof. That's a good question. I'm trying to remember the name of the book that I read.
I never remember the names of
Me
books
neither.
that I've read.
Me
It was
neither.
a book about vaccines and how the first vaccine came about, which is
Oh,
really
Station. Oh, no. Sorry.
um,
I went
and
fiction.
I don't remember the name of the book, but it was essentially a biography about this guy who discovered vaccines, and he used to work for this pharmaceutical company called Merck, and he found how you could use like animals and their proteins and their enzymes and whatnot and kind of implement that into humans. So it was pretty neat.
Cool. That is awesome.
Not fiction at all.
Very relevant to the times.
Oh my God. I was like, oh, Station 11. It's like COVID, but it's fiction and it's into the future. No, Mercedes, just shut up. Okay. Number 7. You train in your goggles and compete without. You train with speakers in the water so your coach can hear you, or so you can hear your coach. Do you get to hear like the music in competition? And if
Mhm.
not, oh, you do?
Yeah, we do.
You
So
hear
there's
the
an
music in the
underwater
water.
speaker. Yeah, there's an underwater speaker specific for synchro, or I guess any sports that want to play music while they're underwater and above. And from my understanding, sound travels faster in water. So you need a system that's able to kind of calibrate the below speaker and the top speaker, because when you're upside down, you're on this rhythm and this counting, right? When you
Yeah.
get your head up, you want to make sure you're on that same rhythm.
Right.
Because otherwise huge errors could happen. And we've actually competed in different countries where it wasn't exactly synchronized top and bottom, and huge errors occur. So
Oh.
investing in a good sound system is always key in our sport.
I thought Martha was looking at me like, you idiot. Of course there's speakers in the water. And I'm like,
No, but the speakers in the water are awesome. Like it's so fun to hear music underwater. Like it's
yeah.
great.
We have them at our rec center here in Whistler, but I didn't know that was like, I thought that was cutting edge.
Maybe it is though.
I don't know. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I just learned this, but concussion is kind of a thing and that happens sometimes in artistic swimming, eh? So like maybe you can tell me first a little bit about that, and then also like have you ever experienced, I don't know, like a kick to the face or something like that?
Yeah. Most people wouldn't think that concussions are relevant in our sport, but they really are. We swim really close together, and we tend to, whip kick each other in the head sometimes, because if one person is completely upside down, their head's facing the bottom of the pool, and the other person's head is facing up, and we're getting out of the water pretty high, so you can move your legs pretty quickly. You get smacked in the head. And another common injury that occurs from concussions too is that when you throw a girl up in the air, we're not touching the bottom of the pool, but this girl has enough air time to do a double backflip. So if she lands the wrong way and her knee just smacks you in the head on the way down, that's a severe concussion.
Okay, hold the boat. They obviously, I need to watch more synchronized swimming. Do they actually do a double backflip?
Yeah. I've done multiple in my career. Probably enough time to do a 2.5, but the entry isn't always clear for a 2.5, so we always play it safe with the double.
Oh yeah, just gonna play it safe with double. And that's when you're on the team event?
Yeah, exactly. So there's 8 girls in the water, 7 pushing, 1 girl up in the air.
7 pushing.
A lot of power.
And you're the flipper.
So I do both. I'm kind of interchangeable in the roles in the team.
Did you see that play on words there, Martha? You're the flipper, like Flipper the dolphin.
Totally. That's a good one. Really appreciated that.
I'll be here all day, guys. All day. Have you ever gotten a bloody nose?
No. I knew a couple of my teammates who have, either from kicks in the nose or sometimes it just happens during training, but I've been fairly fortunate to never have a bloody nose.
Knock on wood for that.
No, I know. That was kind of a rude question to ask, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, you get a bloody nose in the pool. Does that not shut down the whole pool?
Oh, no way. Are you kidding?
Oh, it doesn't?
You don't want to know.
What?
No,
What?
A bloody nose? Jacqueline, with that? No.
never.
Well, what?
They'll just like, you get out, you go home, and they'll just carry on, everybody.
They'll just add more chlorine?
Training and block your nose.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay. I guess everyone pees in the water too. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 9. Number 9, moving on. Are you superstitious?
I don't like to think so, but sometimes if I do perform well in an event, I try and recreate the same steps that I took for the next following events and try and recreate that success.
I feel like that's normal. Hey, Martha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
wore
good
the same
approach.
socks for a while, thinking that was my thing.
Yeah. Okay, we're number 10 here. What's the best thing about the Olympics in your mind?
Ooh.
Huge question for you.
Man, this is a huge question. I mean, I don't want to go, far from what you guys think. There's just so many amazing things about it.
Don't use us as a baseline. You might want to go far from what we think. Trust me.
Yeah. I'm not a normal Olympian.
I think for me, at least at the Rio Games, the biggest thing for me was just that realization that you have the best athletes in the entire world all assembled together in one place. And when you come to that realization, whether that be in the Olympic Village or the cafeteria or at your venue, I think that's just huge. Like realizing that you're one of the best athletes in the entire world. And it's a true honor to be there. And I think that's one of the best things, to be surrounded by incredible people.
Did you ever think about that, Martha?
Totally.
I never
well said, though.
I never thought about that.
It is cool.
It's absolutely brilliant.
And seeing all the different body types too, because you have literally every single body type, right? Because people are like so tall or so short or whatever, like so huge legs, tiny legs, because of all the sports. It is pretty cool.
Yeah, we used to play a game in the village, being like, guess the sport. So
Yes.
we guessed the volleyball players, easy. Gymnastics, easy. Then you have like the in-between, the weightlifters, and we'd actually go up to them and ask to confirm our answers.
That's good.
Did they know what you were?
A lot of people thought we were rugby players for some reason, which I mean,
What?
I thought was cool, hey?
That is cool.
You're a tiny human, though.
Yeah, but maybe she's the one they
Oh,
left and grabbed the
she
ball.
is in artistic swimming, so
Exactly.
they're not far off. Wild. Okay, that was our rapid fire. That's obviously never rapid fire. So thank you to our listeners, and thank you to Jackie for putting up with the sweet questions. Learned a lot there. So this will potentially be your second Olympics that you'll be going to. Can you let us know how you qualify and when you qualify?
Yep. So we actually already qualified at the 2019 Pan American Games.
Oh,
How
God,
it works
thank
in
God.
artistic swimming. Oh yeah, thank goodness.
It's like a hard question for me to ask, because I looked on the Olympic tracker to find out like who's qualified, and it just says like 2 people, 8 people, and no names. So I was like, please say she's qualified. Okay, 2019 qualified.
Yeah, so we qualified over a year ago. And you essentially just have to win gold at the Pan Am Games. If you don't
no
win
big deal.
gold, then you don't have your golden ticket. So I mean, there is quite a bit of pressure.
Oh
But
my
we were
God.
able to perform in our favor.
You just need to hold on. You just to qualify, you need to win gold at the Pan American Games. No big deal. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. We need to get that golden ticket to go. So we were lucky enough that we won 2 gold medals, one in the duet event, one in the team event, and that qualified us for the games. If we missed out on that chance, then we'd have to go to another round, which is the Olympic qualifiers, which is kind of used as a test event as well for the Olympic Games. It's held in Tokyo in the Olympic venue. However, we're incredibly lucky that we qualified in advance because the diving Olympic qualifier, which was supposed to be held in a week and a bit near the mid of April, actually just got canceled. So their qualification tournament is going to happen in a completely different way than anybody has ever imagined. So we're just really lucky we don't have that stress on ourselves right now.
So are you going to be in the duet and the team, or is that still like undecided, or you're doing both?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't officially been named yet, but so far we're training in our Olympic group, and I'm training in the duet event and the team event.
Amazing. Congrats. That's super cool.
Thanks.
2 chances.
Mm-hmm.
Martha, how many chances did you get?
For synchronized swimming, well.
Let's talk about your synchronized swimming
Martha.
career, please. Let's take it back.
Let's not.
Oh man. Okay, so you're qualified for both. You have 2 chances at the Olympics. How are you feeling about Tokyo that was supposed to happen a year ago, and it's coming up. It's coming up quick.
It definitely is coming up quick. I think in the beginning part, when the Olympics were postponed, I was like, holy crap, another year? I mean, I think you both know how physically and emotionally taxing the Olympic year is. I think it's the hardest one, not only physically, but mentally to endure. And to go through that just one more time is honestly just a whole roller coaster of emotions that go up and down. But I'm incredibly lucky that I'm able to at least go out and compete for the first time internationally in Budapest, April 10th and 11th. So we were able to get some experience under our belt before competing at the games.
And that'll be this episode will probably come out after that. But that will be your only competition prior to the games.
Most likely our only in-person competition. We had a lot more scheduled, but they're just getting canceled left, right, and center because of COVID. I did have the opportunity to compete at the US Open virtually in the month of January, and got the results back in February. And it's so strange competing virtually. I mean, you're in your training pool. There's no judges. There's barely anybody on the side of the pool because you can't have people there because of COVID. And there's this camera there that's acting as the judge. And then you wait a month to get your results, and then you find out, woo, you won the US Open, which is, it's cool. But it's just, you don't get that whole hype and the adrenaline before going and swimming.
I feel like that's setting you up for Tokyo with no audience.
True.
Potentially, yeah.
But I love that you went into that, because I was like, are only in person. I'm like, what? You don't do a virtual contest? Or it's just like, what?
Wow.
Times have changed.
So I remember, I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but a few years ago, I thought at a world championships, there was men in artistic swimming at one point, and there's wasn't it even like a co-ed duet or something? Or is that what's happening there? Is that still happening, or?
Yeah, you're exactly right. We're trying to incorporate more men into the sport.
Cool.
And so we have the duet mixed event. So it's kind of mimicking figure skating, where you have, a guy paired with a girl, and they do our 2 technical events. So the short program and the long program, the short program having technical elements and the long program being free. And as of this year, in the World Series events, guys can be incorporated in the team. So that just opens up a whole new world of possibilities for these highlights when you throw someone in the air, because you're bringing a whole different level of strength.
Oh gosh,
yeah,
you're
that
be
is
doing
really
quads.
cool.
You're going to be doing quads.
Yeah, seriously.
Or do you have a male partner to do this with?
I don't, actually. My brother has volunteered from time to time, but only if there's 3 people or less registered in the competition, because he just wants a sure medal. So we're still looking out for some future talent in our sport.
I love it. It's so funny. Martha, such a great question, because usually when you think of equality in sport, you're like, let's get more women in there. But honestly, your sport is just mostly women. So it's the opposite of what the Olympics are looking for, probably.
Yeah, which is probably an added challenge, but man, that could be really cool. Like you said, like that could incorporate such a new element, and some guys would just love it and they'd be so good at it, you know? You got to give them some time to get there, but that's cool. That's exciting.
So cool.
There's actually a couple of great guys from Russia and Spain and Italy. A bunch of other countries are actually way ahead of us because they have guys that are like part of the next gen team and whatnot. And they come from a multitude of different sports. So they come from either figure skating or rhythmic gymnastics, where they have this sense of rhythm, flexibility, and sometimes even some come from gymnastics as well. So they can bring that strength into the water. Now they just really need to learn how to get that water pressure. And that's the tricky part to getting yourself upside down and kind of mastering the skills.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
Maybe we should tell some of our male swimmers in Canada to go over. No, I'm kidding. No. I can tell you that they don't have that.
They don't have it. It's funny. It makes me think of like the footballers that changed to bobsled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet you the gymnasts could be good at it, but then they may not be good swimmers. Oh.
Yeah, it's tricky. That'd be tricky for sure.
I don't want to hold my breath for 5 minutes, to be honest.
Me neither.
Oh my gosh. I do want to get into, obviously, you are looking to be a doctor in the future. And I know you're going to achieve that because you're a badass. But I did read something that you are into robotics competitions. Can you just, that seems weird to me and amazing at the same time, but I also don't know what it means. Like,
yeah, throughout my college degree, I joined the robotics club at my school just for fun. You know, after the Rio Games, I was like, I'm gonna plunge into something that's completely out of my comfort zone.
okay.
And I fell into robotics, and it was really neat. I got introduced to the Canadian robotics competition. I attended 3 of those, and we actually came top 5 in all of those 3 competitions. And I learned a diverse set of skills, you know, a little bit of programming, a little bit of like build, and then there's a whole like building the website and like 3D and AI and all that stuff. So it was really neat to just see all this stuff kind of at the surface level.
Okay, what did you end up building?
So in the Canadian robotics competition, you have to build 2 robots. One main robot, which is like, it could differ from year to year, but one robot our year was about 5 foot tall, and quite wide. And you have to adapt your robot to what the competition is going to be like.
You just built a Mercedes, pretty much. Me. You just built me.
Built a you. It doesn't really have legs. It has wheels. And it has to play a game. So it has to play either football and grab these balls and throw them into bins. And it has to be able to roll up a ramp or sometimes go upstairs. That's one robot. And then the second robot is called your programming robot. And this is where a lot of the computer science majors kind of stepped in there. And you had to program your robot to essentially do some AI, so to follow a straight line, to go through and solve a maze on its own and whatnot. So all these crazy programming skills that I got to witness.
Wow.
That's cool. So what's your education background in prior to that, though? Like, do you have an engineering degree or something?
Not at all.
Okay.
I graduated in health sciences.
Oh, cool. That's even cooler.
This is just something that interests me.
I feel
Cool,
like
that's so
I
good.
feel like she could get any degree she wants. I had
totally.
Olympian Justin Lamrou on, and he's an engineer Olympian and now getting into AI. AI. That's what it's AI. Artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Neat.
It's beyond me.
That's
Absolutely beyond me. Wild. Okay. Back about the Olympics. You said you're sort of superstitious. I also read that you like to have a bit of chocolate before your competition. What kind of chocolate? Exactly what timing are you having this chocolate, and how much?
Those are all fantastic questions that nobody has ever asked before, actually. So when I'm in kind of traveling within North America, I stick with an Aero bar, whether that be an Aero Mint or an Aero bar. But when I'm
Good
in Europe,
choice.
I'm a big fan of Milka bars, which
Oh,
are
yeah.
harder to find here in Canada. Milk chocolate or milk chocolate hazelnut. And the key here is the timing, because I find I have a sugar crash if I eat it too soon. So about 30 to 45 minutes before an event is when I need to have my chocolate bar. And I don't just have a piece anymore. I kind of just end up eating the full bar.
That is good.
Feast.
It gives me the energy, or at least, makes me think that I have the energy to go out and compete.
Oh my God. So, and then how long is the program?
Our short program, so our technical program, is about 2 minutes, 45 seconds, give or take 15 seconds. And our long program is 3 minutes, 30 seconds, anything between 3:30 and 4 minutes.
And you're just going all out. I mean, you earned that. You've already earned that chocolate bar.
I mean, at the end of that, we need to make it look like it's easy that we're swimming out of the pool. But to be honest, in training, sometimes coaches have to pull us out of the pool. Like, our limbs cannot move after we finish a routine because we're just so exhausted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is that the same in swimming, Martha?
Yeah, totally.
You guys just hop right out of the pool.
Well, it's the same. I mean, we don't have to make it look easy. That's true. We don't have judges being like, hey, but
Yeah.
I think any sport's like that, right? You're tired after, like, mentally, physically, like, that sounds normal.
I feel like I chose the right sport. No, I'm tired. I'm tired after the half pipe. It's like 30 seconds of like intenseness, and you're like, woof, for sure.
I would definitely be hyperventilating on the half pipe. I can tell you.
Yeah, I would not be in a good place.
I'll get you guys out snowboarding one day. Oh man. Okay, so anything like that you're looking forward to at the games this year? I know it's pretty sad and savage that your family won't be able to go and friends, but I mean, now you have enough time to mentally prepare for that and know that that's a thing. Is there anything that special that you're looking forward to?
This is going to sound kind of strange, but I think because we're kind of limited in the amount of things that we could look forward to, like, for instance, meeting other athletes, that's a no. Seeing other people within Team Canada, that's a no. It kind of talking with their athletes, that's also a no. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Japan is going to manage this whole COVID situation. And especially because they're so tech savvy, I've seen a bunch of their videos on their promo ads. I can't wait to see a bunch of these robots that are kind of just all around the village, taking temperatures. They already have some at their airports. I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to integrate technology into these games.
That's such a good answer.
Yeah.
I remember when I first heard that Tokyo was going to be hosting the 2020 games, and I remember thinking, like, similarly, like, oh, they're going to do such a good job at, like, just being efficient, and now with COVID, they almost, like, need to be even more, right? So that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I also remember hearing about the games in Tokyo. I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta see what they're gonna be doing. So that is not a weird answer at all. That's like fully on point.
That's cool. Yeah.
Wild. Any other questions, Martha?
I don't know. What's happening in Budapest that you're going to? What is that? Is it like a World Cup, or what is that competition?
It's the World Series, so it's hosted by FINA. The first one of the year was held virtually. That was the US Open. And these ones are just the second ones of the season in Hungary.
Nice.
Well, she fits in all her ambassador programs that she's a part of. She does still compete as an athlete. And like, when I list off every ambassador you are, I'm like, where do you have the time, girlfriend?
Oh, thanks.
You're nuts.
That's awesome. Good.
It's amazing. It's totally amazing. Thank you so much for dropping in with us. Where can people find you to follow you up until the games and after?
You can definitely follow me on Instagram because, as I already said, I'm on that quite often. Instagram at Jacqueline_Simoneau, or even at Twitter at Jackie_Simoneau. And you could give me a follow on Facebook as well.
Awesome. Jackie, thank you so much for dropping in with us today. It's always great to see your face, and we wish you all the best of luck in Tokyo.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, so we recorded this podcast the end of May 2021, and a couple of swimming competitions have happened since. So let me catch you up. The Artistic Swimming World Series returned to live competition April April 10th and 11th, 2021 in Budapest. We talked about that in the podcast, that it might happen. Well, it did. And Jackie captured gold in the solo, technical, and the women's duet technical event. And that's not all. Her team took home gold in the duet free program, and Jacqueline herself won the solo free event as well. If you're keeping count, that's 4 gold medals at one event. Hello! And then she was lucky enough to compete again just this past week. June 10th to 13th, 2021, the FINA Artistic Swimming World Series was in Barcelona. She took home bronze in both team events, a silver in the duet free, a gold in the duet technical, and a gold in the solo. Jackie's on fire leading up to the Tokyo Games, so you're going to want to watch her in Tokyo. I don't know about you, but I've been having a really good time interviewing the Team Canada athletes, and I'm so excited to be partnered with Sway because obviously I'm pretty real to who I am, and so are the athletes that we've been chatting to. Sway is going to be donating to Can Fund, an organization that directly supports Team Canada's athletes. Sway is made with real juice and real good vibes. Honestly, you're going to want to taste this vodka soda. It's different from the others. Sway is a delicious tasting vodka soda with nothing to hide. Cheers! Thanks so much for dropping in. You can find all the Dropping In episodes on the Dean Blundell Network or on your preferred podcast network, where you can subscribe and not miss an episode.